So this is an article from 2017. How is the UAE fighting violent extremists online? And who is the author? Oh, look, it's our hero Khalid Amiri, who's writing about his battle to fight extremists. So this is the CVE agenda, countering violent extremist agenda that we've covered in over the years. And basically, it's a conflation. They want to say that, well, you have the terrorists like ISIS, and you have the extremist Muslims. And these are all, bad extremists that we have to shut down. The thing is, ISIS, AQ, these groups, we condemn them. They have nothing to do with Islam. That's known. But then you're conflating the conservative Muslims, the Muslims that believe in the Quran and Sunnah, the Muslims who believe in traditional Islamic values, the Muslims who disagree with feminism, they disagree with secularism, they disagree with liberalizing the Muslim world, they disagree with LGBT. Those are all, according to the CVE narrative, they are all extremists. So how do we fight extremism? How do we fight? Oh, and by the way, extremists criticize Israel, and extremists don't like the occupation. And they criticize Israel as an occupying force. They're anti-Semitic extremists, right? So all of these things are related. All of these things are connected. In one fell swoop, you want to associate Muslims who believe that Islam is the only true religion. They believe that we need to uphold traditional Islamic values. We need to strive for Islamic sovereignty and Islamic governance through a khilafah and implementing Islamic laws. They believe in Islamic governance. They believe in traditional family values. They're against feminism. They're against sexual immorality. Well, all of those are extremists. All of those people are extremists, and their ideology can potentially lead to violence. Therefore, we have to crack down. That's the whole ideology of countering violent extremism, is a program that has been in place for about 12 years, but really it goes back to the war on terror, started in 2001. And the whole goal is to reform Islam, to clamp down on religious conservatism. That's what it is. And Khalid Amiri is a part of that. And he was talking about how in this article, this is published on his LinkedIn, by the way. This is published on his LinkedIn. You can go right now and read the full article. And he is talking about his contribution to fighting extremism. And what is that? The key to good or influential media is getting someone who is watching or listening to imagine themselves in that situation, to make it relatable, to connect with the audience in a way that makes them want to be there. Extremists and terrorist organizations on social media have found a great deal of success in this regard and recruit young people from all over the world based on that strategy alone. There was never a strong and focused counter-narrative until now. This week, I took part in a workshop set out by Hidayah, an Abu Dhabi-based international organization tasked with countering extremists through a number of programs and activities. The main focus of the workshop, titled Creative Minds for Social Good, was to bring artists, filmmakers, writers, actors, PR executives, and students together in one room for one goal: to create content that counters the narrative developed and used by extremists to recruit young people and paint a picture of our religion. So there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth. His whole objective and his whole mission is to counter extremism. To counter the religious extremism, Islamic extremism, as he, as a liberal Muslim, and his handlers have defined it. In the goal of what? Secularizing the Muslim world, liberalizing the Muslim world. That's what countering extremism really is. Because if you want to counter ISIS is militarily defeated. And at that time, the main way to counter ISIS is through the military. That's what the U.S. and the West did. Now, what is the origin of ISIS? Who is really ISIS? Is it actually Muslims? This is a question. And on YouTube, you can't really talk about it openly. But go to Twitter, go to my Telegram, and it's clear that there are big question marks about whether ISIS is a legitimate, or not legitimate, but an authentic group of people, of true believers, or is it a intelligence operation? I won't say more than that on YouTube. But the way that you counter it is you just defeat that small group. What percentage of the ummah, the Muslim ummah, is ISIS or agrees with ISIS? Not even a percent of a percent. The entire Muslim world has condemned them. So if you want to counter them, why are you expending all these resources? Why do you have to have festivals and you have these international organizations dedicated and you have all these countries getting together to combat this problem? Well, it's obvious, because their goal is not just this one crazy group of terrorists. Their aim, the target, is the entire ummah, to secularize the entire Muslim world. That's the actual agenda, and Khalid and Salama have been a part of that. And for those of you who have just been enjoying their content and thinking, oh, this is, harmless entertainment, no, you're part of the psyop. You're being psyop. That is the problem.